Shine, Wild Pack. It's Bernadette, and I'm here with your pick a card tarot reading for Friday, May Lordy. May 7th, because I was like, oh, it's lucky number 7. That's cool. Okay, so y'all, I don't even know what's been going on this week with these readings, but it's been a heck of a ride so far. And today, I'm like, I got the serious Bernadette face on for today because it's not a negative message of any kind. It's just so powerful and so profound, and that is this. So white porcupine has come out for you all today, and this porcupine is white due to being an albino. And if you know anything about albinoism, you'll know that it is a genetic disorder, which makes it sound like you've got a disease or something's wrong with you, right? And that is what this entire message is about today. It's crazy. So let me just say this. When we take a look at any animal that is solid white, no matter whether it's an albino or it's an Arctic fox, they're all white. Polar bears are white. Storks, egrets, that kind of thing. Doves, fish, because, oh my God, there's the betta fish. Oh, the strain of them that is all white. They're almost iridescent. They are so beautiful. Anyway, we tend to think of them just in terms of symbolism and meaning. We tend to think of them as divine animals, of angelic animals. And again, and I'm going to keep repeating this because the world of animals, the animal spirit guides keep asking me to keep repeating this, is just because traditionally over time we have associated certain colors with certain things, like the color white being the color of the divine, that doesn't mean that's the only color of the divine. That means that our whatever color is divine to you can be whatever color is divine to you. Now, today is Friday. That makes it the throat chakra day, and the ruling planet, the planetary energy, is Venus, which is all about the love. So when I take a look at what being, let's just take being a solid white animal, not due to albinoism. Let's take that off the table. And we know that no matter why it's white, all white, we know that a solid white animal has come out for us on this day, the day of love and the day of the throat chakra. I got to make a movie poster about that. So, and Maureen, if you're listening, Maureen, you guys will recognize her from my lives. She loves to make that kind of stuff in Canva. So Maureen, if you're listening, I need a movie poster of the day of the throat chakra. So, we'll take that off the table. We know we're already dealing with divine energy, period, end of story. Now, when you add on top of that albinoism and the card is inverted, we know that we're looking at how do we, turn this card around so that it's not the challenging aspects of that animal or of its albinoism. And that was the message that was sent through to me. Here's why. When Porcupine comes out for me in my deck, you all, and I read from the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, my own award-winning deck, and animals, I have a particular relationship with each animal and each card. If you're using the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, and you should be, you're going to develop a relationship with that animal also. So you can look at all the meanings and the descriptions and the symbolism in the book, but over time, each animal will come to mean something pretty specific for you. And for me, Porcupine is always about sacred scribing. What are you writing? Now, that can mean physical writing. That can mean the energy imprint that you're sending out, which is writing in the Akashic records. This can mean any thought form, any form of anything you put out there into the world is sacred scribing. Now, when that's inverted, something is holding you back from that. Something is challenging you, blocking you, and in particular in your throat chakra with being able to voice yourself. Now, this gets even a little more detailed, but hang with me on this, and then we'll circle back around, because it is like, wow, this message is just such a wake-up call, So, albinos, they have it tough. First of all, most of them are usually very sensitive to the sun, very sensitive to heat. And in the wild, it just makes it that much harder for them to camouflage. that means that their brethren and their sister, and especially in the porcupine world, they can blend in against the brush and the twigs and the this and the that. Whereas an albino porcupine is just out there for the world to see. Because I ascribe, through my connection with the spirit totem and power animals, because I ascribe the meaning of sacred scribing to porcupine. When that card is inverted, when that animal is inverted, what I know is, and especially being today when it's a day of love, when it's the throat chakra, you are probably, because you have been taught to be, afraid of expressing who you are, because you do stand out. You may have a quirky sense of humor. You may have a quirky sense of how to, communicate with folks. You may be an interesting dresser. You may be, you may be all kinds of things, but I guarantee you, whatever that thing is that makes you unique, or those things are that make you unique, you were taught a long time ago to try to hide them. And you just can't. Like an albino animal can no more hide that they are solid white with pink eyes, by the way, which is true albinoism. Why would they try to hide it? It's who they are. It's in their DNA. Now, why would you try to hide it? For the same reason that if a porcupine ever thought these thoughts, they might try. They couldn't, but they might try, because in the packs that porcupines hunt in, albinos are not, and this is in any, across all animals where there's a true albino, they normally have terrible eyesight, which makes them terrible hunters, which means that the pack or the herd or the whatever ostracize them and cut them out, and they're not part of the pack. Even if they are part of the pack, they're not part of the pack. They don't treat them very well, because instead of taking care of the one that possibly could do other beautiful things for the pack, they want to shun them. Here's where I'm going with this. So in our state in Florida, they have cut funding for arts in schools. I think it's like an almost non-existent budget, right? Now we've got a football program, we've got a baseball program. Oh yes. But the arts, and by and large, artistic people tend to be very, very gentle people, very emotional people, very just gentle and emotional, and can get hurt very easily, sensitive, empathic, that kind of thing. And then there are the other artists that their voices are like the roar of a lion, and they've got something to prove, and they're just firebrands, man. But the albino porcupine is a call that you just, the pack mentality, in the worst way that it can be a pack mentality, has just driven you to hide all that beauty you have. And here's the thing. Okay, maybe you can't go out and hunt the next meal. Maybe in you, your strength is creating beauty in this world. Maybe your strength is creating creativity in this world, inspiring others to do the same, teaching others to do the same. And is there any measure? I mean, unless this was the zombie apocalypse and I had to choose between, looking at fine art or the last can of, SpaghettiOs on the planet or something, I might probably would choose the SpaghettiOs, but then again, I might not. What if by looking at that beautiful new work, I found my next great idea? What if that prompted me, primed me, impassioned me, and all of a sudden I had this amazing revelation of how to get the food supply back for the people during a zombie apocalypse? Because that's what art does. That's what creativity does. I myself am a ridiculous collector of all vessels. Anything, any kind of bowls, vases, receptacles. I'm just fascinated with that. And we all know that has to do with the feminine divine, and carrying anything that's divine, babies, children, water, food. I'm fascinated by that. So, I mean, I've got two sitting right in front of me. This is a beautiful, beautiful polychrome jasper bowl that some dear friends of mine, Becky and Adanya from Rocks and Glass, which is who supplies the crystals on my sites, they brought this back from me or to me from Sedona because polychrome jasper is my all-time favorite, thing. And I've got 5 or 6 other, receptacle kind of things sitting here on my desk. And they're just such a great well of inspiration for me to draw from when I'm not sure what to do. I'll just kind of gaze down in them, almost like I'm scrying, like there's water in there or some other kind of liquid, and I'm scrying, or water gazing, some people call it. And that was made by an artisan. And imagine if it wasn't made by an artisan. What if that artisan felt so ostracized, and cut out from the pack that they squashed what's natural to them. And so today is all about you doing what's natural for you, regardless of what the world around you is telling you. Now, I admittedly have a very, very special hot button with this because I worked in Hollywood for so many years. And if I had a nickel for every person who said to me, when they would bring me their kids, they would say to me, I wanted to do this, and my parents told me, grow up, mature, you've got to get a real job. Nobody really makes a living as a singer, dancer, model, actor. No one really, when what they were really saying was, well, we pay for cable. We pay to go to the movies. So somebody somewhere, some actor somewhere is making some money off of being in the business. People got to have producers, directors, grips, gaffers, makeup artists, production teams, casting. I can go on and on and on and on. Costumes, set. Okay, somebody somewhere is making money off that industry, but you don't think it can be your kid, or you don't think it can be your sister? Or if I decided I wanted to go back in the business today, because I started out as an actor in a comic, I'd probably get more roles today than I ever did, because the time, first of all, there's such a need. There's so much television going on because there are so many channels now. There literally is a shortage of actors, good actors anyway. And I'm in a great age range. I'm at a great character look. I could work. Let's say that you always wanted to be a dancer. Let's say that you always wanted to be a sculptor. Let's say that you always wanted to be. Now you may have wanted to do that at really large levels. Okay, start your Etsy store. Design whatever it is you're going to design and start your Etsy store. Let's say you wanted to be a poet. Let's say you wanted to do slam poetry. Let's say, it doesn't matter. Anything creative, anything that is painting cars, it's doing nails, it's doing tats, it's anything that's creative, cooking, writing. It's all about sacred scribing. But sacred scribing only means getting your story, what you want to share with the world, out. That's it. That's all there is to it. So I believe in you, and I know the animal spirit guides believe in you. And so whatever this is that you have been that you've been hiding under a bushel, you got to stop that. This is not the time for a porcupine on their back, and it's certainly not the time for an albino porcupine on their back. Now is the time for you to get that you are different and celebrate that, because you are not a cookie cutter, Stepford wife, run-of-the-mill lemming. You're not that. Good for you. And I'm sorry for any second you have ever spent feeling less than, or not part of the world, or not part of the pack, don't belong somewhere. I got news. You belong right here. We love you. We will accept you just the way you are, and likely celebrate you for the creativity. It's crazy, but that people could make other people feel that way. And we're responsible for our own feelings. I get that. But when you're a kid and you're told this over and over again, you guys get where I'm going with this. So today is your day. Today is your day. Today is your day. And I hope all that was helpful, because I'm fixing to get up on a pulpit. It's going to be a benediction if I don't cut this video off. So I love y'all. Pick up your copy of the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get on over to gatheringofmystics.com. And what's the most important thing? Do good for animals, especially including yourself, especially today, and stay wild.